Welcome mates, I'm Bloodthirsty Lord, but you can call me Lordy until we're back on Paragon. Once again, should be seeing more Paragon gameplay in the background, but today we have a very interesting topic to cover, and that is the top 5 best, the top 5 OP, the top 5 overpowered heroes within Paragon at this current moment, mates. These heroes are completely broken, and some of these heroes that we predicted before the release on Monolith, and they're still strong till this day. Oh my god guys, so pretty much we're going through this list of top 5 best heroes, explain why they're such a dominant force at this current meta, in this current moment within Paragon, followed by their win rates and stats, and some interesting factors about each hero that's in this top 5 list that made up to the top 5 best heroes or overpowered heroes within Paragon at this current moment. So there's going to be a lot of juicy information within this video, and make sure to take it all into consideration before you enter your next Paragon match. But before we get into this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button to keep up to date with the greatest and latest Paragon gaming content and Paragon gaming news, and make sure you turn on notifications by hitting that little bell button next to the subscribe button so you have the chance to become the first mates on the channel up to date with my amazing Paragon gaming content. As always, expected here first, so without further ado, let's get straight into this. Also, one thing I want to alert you guys about before we get into this video, and that is that we passed the milestone of 20,000 mates on the channel. 20,000 mates that build up the family of mates on the channel. That's just incredible, mates, and as we keep on going, pushing through, the family mates gets bigger and stronger every day, and I love to see that keep going, and obviously with your help and support, it's been bloody amazing, and let's see more of that in every video, because that is truly what brings us all together and makes this community so bloody amazing. Also, mates, I'm hoping you notice a little difference on my YouTube channel. If you go to the YouTube channel Bloodthirsty Lord, you'll be able to see it, and there'll be like a banner on top. That banner has changed completely to what it was before, and it looks bloody amazing. I really adore this banner that I have created. I spent some time on it. It took me a lot of time actually to find the best images and start piling them up and start working on it together. But it looks bloody amazing, something I really like, so I'm hoping you mates like it as well. And thanks to the mates that actually commented yesterday about it, because I didn't realize until I saw the comments in my last video, and it was like, oh my god, I actually passed it. That was pretty sick. So thank you for congratulating me about this, because it's a goal and an achievement that we all got together. So thank you for your support, and let's see that keep going. Before all the mates start to tear up and get emotional, let's get back to the video. Let's get back on track, because this video, this top 5 list, is insane. The heroes are so overpowered, it's bloody amazing. And obviously when you play these heroes in game, it's crazy good. But in my opinion, this list is not my favorite heroes within the game, because I have particular heroes which are considered to be the most useless heroes in Paragon at the current state. But in my eyes, I adore playing them, and I love playing them because they help me understand the game more and pretty much abuse factors or exploit factors on these heroes. But those heroes won't be mentioned within this video. Pretty much the main heroes that make up the top 5 will be through stat numbers, win rates, and all these little things that make them really strong in the current meta. So at number 5, the top 5 overpowered heroes within Paragon goes to Quang. This hero has been played so often, it's incredible. This hero can be played in many roles. Firstly, his best role, his most preferred role, is in the off lane, followed by other roles like mid lane and even jungle. So those are lanes that you can play, or the actual roles you play this character in, and he does have a 51.7% win rate, and that makes him get the 5th position, followed by his actual skills and how he can actually be very versatile compared to any other hero, because you can use this hero in many ways to gain different types of advantages within a game depending on what you're actually upgrading through his abilities and your actual build. There's some crickets in the background making insane noise. I'm hoping that doesn't come up in the recording, but we're going to talk about Quang and his abilities. So if you use the ability Light of the Heavens, which is an ability that does AoE damage once activated, followed by building resistance on your character, that will be a basic attack resistance and also ability damage resistance, or ability armor and basic armor on your character. And obviously if you put points into this ability, you have more sustain and become more of a tank and take less damage from the enemy team with their power output, depending on what hero they're playing. If they're doing more ability damage or basic attack damage, it does not really matter, because you'll be nullifying that damage to a certain degree. So that will keep you in a fight for a longer time. Followed by the Judgment of the Heavens ability, which is pretty much Quang throwing his swords from the heavens, and then once it lands, it will tether the enemy and do some damage to the enemy. Depending on how many points you put into this ability, you'll be able to tether them for a longer time, up to 3.25 seconds, which is obviously really dirty. And you can use this ability with your ultimate if you want to synergize like that, and it really works out pretty well, because you're able to burst the enemy team with Judgment of the Heavens first and using your other abilities, and then chaining your combo with your abilities. It's really good. And this can also tether more than one enemy. Then the Gift of the Heavens ability is just pretty much more sustain, and your ultimate, which is Fury of the Heavens, which is a teleporting ability within the game, does crazy damage, does it slow, and it's pretty much just a crazy amount of AoE damage in an area. So pretty much if you're able to use this ability right, you get able to wipe out a team quite easily with your team following up, and you got your tether ability, just insane amounts of damage and insane amounts of CC coming from this character. It's pretty great, and you got large amount of sustain as well, which is really great for offlaner. And now we move on to the 4th position, which is pretty much tied within the 5th position because they got the exact same win rate of 51.7%, and that is Gadget. She's a caster, she is a powerhouse in the mid lane. That's her preferred lane or preferred role. Can also be played in the off lane or even a support if you do desire to play her in that role, but mid lane is the best choice you will have when playing Gadget because she has a high win rate in that lane guaranteed, and her playstyle just strives off that lane because you're getting a lead within CP and XP, and you can abuse the enemy team, do early game rotations to mid game, just abuse everyone as Gadget. She's a powerhouse indeed, and a hero that I do enjoy playing as well within the mid lane. She's one of my favorite range casters in the game. She does abuse the factor of utility and team utility against the enemy team. She's able to slow them, do massive amounts of damage as well at the same time. That's why I do adore her, and she's a powerhouse because of that one reason. And we're pretty much going through her ability. She does have a sticky bomb as one of her abilities. Essentially, the bomb, she throws it, it sticks to her enemy, then they explode and die. That's the sticky bomb. Then she does have a slowing mine ability. Pretty much a mine that she throws from a distance and then slows in an AoE effect. And obviously the more points you put into that ability, which will do more damage and more slowing to those enemies caught in that area, followed by her other ability, which is Speed Gate, which will give her increased movement speed. Every time you put a point into the ability, it will give you more movement speed, and this can work for yourself and your team members as well. So it's a very good way to engage and disengage from enemy fights, or pretty much fights in general, on the map of Monolith, because it can give you such a massive lead. And the Speed Gate can also affect friendly units, so if you have minions, you can push them up with your Speed Gate ability. And the last but not least, her ultimate, Tesla Dome, one of my favorite ultimates in the game, because if the enemy team is caught in a zone where they pretty much can't move safe, the Decker does use her ultimate and fence them off, and you activate your Tesla Dome in that area, it's guaranteed all those heroes that are caught in the area will be from 100 to 0 real quick, mates. And oh my god, guys, that's why Tesla Dome for this hero, the ultimate, is so bloody amazing. Pretty much does ticks of damage to any enemies that will be caught in that area. Pretty much towards the end of this list, we'll explain or pretty much clarify why these heroes are so strong in meta. So let's move on to the number 3 position, and that does belong to Aurora. She's the latest and the newest hero in the Paragon hero roster, and she is a powerhouse and a hero that I'm enjoying at this current moment very much because she's able to do so much CC damage and also have high mobility within her kit. Essentially gives you the chance to dodge enemy skill shots and obviously escape anything that you want because you're such a slippery hero. Her preferred role or lane is in the off lane, followed by other lanes like mid lane or even jungle or even support, but I do prefer in the mid lane myself because it's really enjoyable in that lane, because you're able to gain lead with this character and just abuse that whenever you roam. She's elusive, she's a controller, she's a burst attacker zoner, and she does have a 52% win rate, which is obviously very great, and that's why she earns the 3rd spot in the top 5 overpowered heroes within Paragon at this current moment. So let's do a quick overview of her ability. She's very elusive because she has 2 abilities, one which obviously has that little ice effect on the floor, and she's able to go from one side to another and obviously block paths and pretty much stop enemies from coming towards her. It's a very good ability, or just escape from anything or engage any fight she wants to. Followed by her elusive ability, which pretty much leaves her eyes clone of herself with the exact same stats she has at the current moment, which is able to use to pretty much switch minion aggression or tower aggression off her to that actual clone version of herself. And she can also use this ability to go on top of ledges and escape enemy skill shots. A very useful ability indeed. And her 3rd ability, which is obviously the root effect ability. Very small cone or circle effect around or AoE effect, but it is very useful. If you're caught in the middle of a fight and you use that ability, any enemies that do touch that will be frozen up to 2 seconds. My god, that is insane. Followed by your ultimate, which is initially a slow effect, followed by a freezing effect. So you have a lot of CC, a lot of damage as well from your basic attacks coming out, followed by your team hopefully pushing at the same time you use your ultimate. You can clean up kills quite easily with this hero, and that is why she has such a high win rate at this current moment, and she earns the top 3 position in the top 5 overpowered heroes within Paragon at this current moment. And now let's move on to number 2, and that does belong to Sparrow. She jolted up the chain, and her win rate has been insane due to the fact that they got a slight buff on her attack speed. Well, it seemed to be a slight buff, but obviously she's a Marauder, and having a slight buff in attack speed is disgusting when it comes to endgame, because her attack speed was kind of slow per level. They increased it to 2.8 compared to Murdoch and Twin Blast at that certain time. Obviously Murdoch has kind of went down due to the fact that version 37.1 has obviously decreased his attack speed per level, but that's something we can talk about in another video. And Sparrow just has risen up to the top with a 53.1% win rate at this current moment. Her preferred role is obviously in the safe lane, where she's able to safely farm for her CXP until late game, and then she'll be popping off like no tomorrow. Her piercing shot is essentially a shot that she's able to do for a longer range, and she's able to even use that ability or shoot enemies with that ability through terrain as well. Then she has an AoE ability called Hail of the Arrows, which does area effect in a certain amount of time and a certain amount of damage. Nothing too crazy there, but followed by these two abilities, or the ability and ultimate. First ability is Relentless. This ability is insane because every time you get more hits on that same target, you're able to stack more increased damage on that target itself. So pretty much you're doing more damage per second every time you shoot that exact same target. Insane. Followed by your ultimate, which pretty much means instead of shooting one shot of your bow and arrow, you're shooting 3. So you're able to target more than one enemy at once, and pretty much with your attack speed increase and the relentless stacks going off, it's just insane. You're able to clean up so many enemies at once. It makes your mind blow because you're able to get quads and panthers so easily with this hero. It's bloody amazing. That's why she earned the second spot within the list. So she's pretty much one of the best rangers at this current moment. And now we move on to number 1 of the top 5 overpowered heroes within Paragon at this current moment, and that does go to Grayson. He's a fighter hero. He's pretty much one insane hero at this current state due to the fact that he's able to come back to life, doing the same amounts of damage in AoE and also against one single target, and pretty much sustain and have huge amounts of resistance and pretty much be an unstoppable force. That is why he's so strong. And you play this hero in so many lanes or so many roles. You can play within its preferred lane, which is off lane, or you can even play as a jungle, even a mid laner, whatever you want, you can play. Grayson is just a powerhouse, and it's always going to be like that. From day 1 he got released, he was a powerhouse, and he still is till this day. It's insane, and that's why people play Grayson in this current moment, because he has a 54.5% win rate, and he's a pretty easy hero to understand and pretty much master. And obviously once you've done that, you'll be able to win games quite easily compared to before. He has very good scaling, and he's very strong in pretty much every stage of the game, but especially once he gets his spike, which is in the mid game once he has unlocked his ultimate, because he becomes an unstoppable force, and he's able to dive anything because he's able to come back to life. Even though he dies, and he'll be able to come back to life, and obviously there's a cooldown time on that. But it's nothing too insane with the actual cooldown time. It's pretty low, so you're able to pretty much be a constant presence on the map no matter what. Even though if you died once, pretty much 50 seconds later you got your ultimate back and you're back in action, just destroying everyone and not giving a shit if the tower does do any damage towards you. I don't have to explain why Grayson is so strong at this current moment. You can see the gameplay in the background. You've witnessed Grayson in a game yourself, and you can understand why he's so strong. And that completes the top 5 overpowered heroes within Paragon at this current moment. Quick overview of the list. At number 5 we had Quang. At number 4 we had obviously Gadget. Number 3 we had Aurora, and number 2 we had Sparrow, and number 1 the main strong hero within the game, the most overpowered hero in the game, and that belongs to Grayson. So if you want to play Grayson, do so at this current moment because he's so bloody strong. Pretty much the list of heroes that we did explain, the unstoppable forces, heroes that you play in solo queue or with a team. You play with a team and use all these heroes. Oh my god guys, 100% your win rate will increase. Even in solo queue, your win rate will increase with these heroes. So play them, use them wisely, and get your win rate up there so you can climb the elo and become better players and have an enjoyable experience on Paragon. But mates, as always, I want to know your thoughts on this video. What do you think about the top 5 list that we discussed within this video? Do you think they are truly overpowered because the stats, the numbers, in my opinion, it is there, and obviously they are overpowered heroes. But tell me your top 5 list of overpowered heroes, or your heroes that you do enjoy in Paragon at this current state, because it will obviously be a very interesting read indeed. So leave your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section down below. So mates, if you did enjoy this video, show your support, smash that blind like button. Let's try to get 200 likes on this video. And if you mates want to see more Paragon gaming content and Paragon gaming news, all you have to do is share this with your friends and hit the subscribe button to become a mate today. That is all for this video. Oh, time to go, but don't you worry, we're back very soon. Hey chats boys, because you ain't seen nothing yet. Trust me mates, if you do utilize this top 5 overpowered hero list whenever you go into Paragon and have a match of Paragon, your win rate will go flying through the roof, and it's going to be one bloody amazing experience.
Saying that it feels right.